Every great conversation starts with a cup of tea, जो मैं हमेशा कहती हूँ. Bonjour, hello, नमस्ते. मैं हूँ काव्या गुप्ता, आपकी होस्ट फॉर द T3 पॉडकास्ट. आज हम फिर से आ गए हैं अपने एक नए एपिसोड के साथ और हमारे इस एपिसोड के गेस्ट हैं मिस्टर बेंजामिन ब्रूनो. वो एक फ्रेंच टीचर हैं और वो फ्रांस से हैं. सो सर,
Bonjour,
bonjour,
bonjour, namaskar.
namaste. So sir, can you tell me about yourself?
hmm I'm French. My name is Benjamin. I'm 37.
Okay.
I've been a French teacher for 7 years, and I've been living in India since 2019.
It's been approximately 3 years, 3 or 4 years.
So
Okay,
I was back 2 years in the COVID. So let's
okay.
say 3, 4 years
3 to 4 years.
continuously.
Okay. दोस्तों मैं ये बता दूं, ये वीडियो जो है हमारा इंग्लिश में होगा क्योंकि सर को हिंदी थोड़ी थोड़ी आती है, तो हम लोग थोड़ी थोड़ी हिंदी भी यूज करेंगे.
Tora only.
थोड़ा
Sorry.
थोड़ा.
Uh,
Yes. No worries, sir. Okay. So how did you get into teaching, sir?
So first I studied some linguistic after
Oh,
high school. I studied it for 5, 6 years, the master degree. Then I worked in a bookshop for a few years.
interesting.
It was great. It was really nice working around books, words. It was
And
really
you're still working around books, but
yeah.
not that much.
No, still a bit.
Hmm.
But then after a few years, I got a bit bored. I felt a bit stuck in the, let's say, career.
Okay.
And I was like, how can I still work with words or languages, but in a more interacting way, and also in a more progressing
Okay.
career. And then I thought about French teaching.
Very
So I
nice.
went back to university for another 2 years to do the master degree in dedicated to French teaching for foreigners.
Okay.
And this is how I started.
And how many years did you learn the linguistic part? So you
Uh,
are
so
now you are a teacher for that,
So 6 years the linguistic part, 2 years the
for the teaching.
ah
So it's been, well, it's like 8 years you studied, then you are teaching. So can you tell us how was the experience as a fresher?
hmm.
Is it difficult to find a job in France? As in
Hmm.
India, I can say that yes, for fresher it's a little bit difficult, but yes, we can find. But yes, you should have that degree. But freshers, no more of the company they prefer the they not prefer for the freshers.
Hmm, hmm,
They
hmm.
prefer the experienced one. Yes.
It can be a bit tricky
Hmm.
for freshers in France because the problem is if you've been studying for a long time to get a great diploma, you're gonna have that degree, you're gonna have that diploma, but you won't get the field experience. And recruiters, companies might blame you for this.
Okay.
Now, on the other hand, you started to work young, you know your things, you're qualified, but you don't have any paper, any diploma, any degree to prove it in
Okay.
an interview. And then companies might blame you for this. So it can be tricky for freshers. Now it
Yes,
depends a lot
you
on.
have to balance both the things.
Ah,
As I mentioned in my first podcast, that in India more of the students are collecting degrees and
mm,
then they find their way
hmm,
for their career.
hmm.
So is it the same in France as well? They are
Uh,
collecting the degrees, or they like to collect the knowledge so they
hmm.
can have the job.
But it depends a lot on the fields. As you
Okay.
said, it's a balance to find. Now, if I compare France and India, in France there are more paperwork, the administration is heavier,
Okay.
so it's tougher to like get an opportunity. Like, okay, we're gonna try you, we're gonna let you try for one day. If
Hmm.
at the end of the day you're good, we keep you. That kind of stuff in France, it's really tough
Okay,
to
I
find.
think in India it's also this a little bit same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing is, in France, one good thing would be if you hired, you get a lot of protections. The contracts are solid.
There are two types of contracts which I
Ah,
heard. Say they this, say they e.
exactly. You
Yes.
remember your lesson.
Yes, I remember.
Very nice, very nice. So yeah, you got CDD and CDI,
Hmm.
which is contract for a specific duration or contract without a specific duration.
Okay.
And without specific duration, it's actually super solid as a contract. If you're hired like this, then a recruiter won't be able to, the boss won't be able to fire
To
you,
fire you. Oh,
even
okay.
if even if you don't do your job properly. And
Okay.
yeah,
But it is very difficult. I think it's very difficult to find that kind of job in France, right?
aha, but once you get it,
Then no one will be able to fire
kind
you.
of, and this is why recruiters might be scared
Okay.
to hire people because they know if they hire them, once they hire them, it's a whole process to fire them, even if they
Yes.
deserve it.
Even if, yes.
And so,
So, sir, as I know, as you know, so my audience also know that the culture between French people in France and India, it's a bit different. It's a bit different. So can you tell us that what are the similarities which
hmm,
you observe in India and in France? The education system. Basically, we are talking about the first education
okay.
system.
In the education system, I would say that so I've been teaching to many different nationalities because
Yes.
I teach French as a second language. So then I've I've been blessed with teaching with so many different people from so many
It's a
different countries.
nice thing.
It's a great
Yeah.
work.
It's
It's
a
a
great.
great job. Right.
Yes.
Uh, Now I would say that uh, the difference between Indian students and some European students is like Indian would be way less conscious about themselves. Way
Okay.
they speak way easier.
Yes, we talk a lot. बहुत
Sometimes
बात करते हैं हम.
sometimes sometimes it can be a bit loud and it can be a bit chaotic in the classroom, but it's fine.
Our pitch is a little bit higher than I think the French students or European.
Aha. Sometimes students would talk at the same time, a whole room.
And it is very difficult to teach online. When everyone is talking, it is very difficult because I am teaching, I know, I can
Hmm.
understand that part.
Mhm. And sometimes, as the teacher, you ask one student, "Okay, what is the answer for this question?" And then you get a dozen of
Answers.
heads blabbing, and you feel like you're standing in front of Ravana
Okay.
with the 10 heads.
Ravan. Okay, he's
Ravana.
mentioning Ravan.
Hmm.
Very nice. He knows our culture. Very impressive, sir.
So
Okay, and
yeah,
what about European students?
but a bit more, maybe a,
Conscious.
a bit more conscious, a bit more shy. Uh, you they pay attention. I mean, they're more afraid to make a mistake,
Okay.
basically. And here, I think here it also has to do with the fact that Indian people, any Indian people, the average Indian people, is already at the very least bilingual, not to say multilingual.
Yes, but at
And
least English and Hindi
and here
minimum.
it's very common to speak many languages, to hear many languages, and on that basis, Indian students are really quick when it comes, especially when it comes to speaking or word expression. Okay, they're pretty quick, and so that is great. Sometimes the grammar would be a bit more tricky.
Yeah,
Voilà.
but I heard so many other countries, students and other people also make mistakes. But it
Sure,
it happens. You have
sure,
to be fluent. Nothing to worry about. You have to be confident about
sure,
it.
sure, sure, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So can you tell me what are the experiences? What are the difference between the Indian education system
Hmm.
or French education system or any other country which you
Uh,
have taught?
But a
So,
big
which,
difference here is that it's more traditional. So let's say the teacher has a higher position, the hierarchy
okay, yes, hierarchy,
is way
hierarchy.
more, teacher is talking, students are listening. And so I would say that this system, unfortunately, sometimes it makes the student memorize a lot and
Yes.
sometimes not thinking enough
That
about what he
means
just
the practical knowledge is less than it is theoretically more.
And it's not just about theory or
Practical.
practical. It's also about being critical,
Okay.
right? Question the information.
Okay.
Not accepting just like this. Not thinking of your own.
Okay, the creativity which we are talking about.
Aha.
So, can we say it is a part because of the artificial intelligence technology which we are using?
No. I think it has more to do with a system that is more traditional. In France, it used to be like this. Let's
Okay.
say 60, 70 years ago, it was still like this. The teacher has the knowledge, he comes, he delivers, student take it without asking any question. And let's say in my field, we running, and in yours, we're running those exams as DELF,
Yes.
certification for
Yes.
French skills.
For the French skills, yes.
And for the advanced students, for the advanced levels, we're not only gonna evaluate you on your ability to speak French or to understand French, we're also gonna judge your ability of questioning, comparing, give your own thought.
How well you are understanding, how well
defending a
you are.
position,
Yes.
finding a middle ground, finding a halfway path, and that kind of
Okay.
stuff it's a bit tough if it's the first time you're doing it.
Yes.
And that kind of stuff, we in France we kind of used to do it from a younger age, right? To question,
Yes.
this rebel.
Rebel mode, which I
Ha.
have heard and I've seen as well. There are so many things
Hmm.
which are very different. Their assignments,
Hmm.
they need to think a lot
Hmm.
before doing the assignment. It's not only just copy it from
Exactly.
anywhere.
Less multiple choice question,
Yes.
more open questions.
Open questions.
Ha.
Yes, we are talking about not subjective. We are talking about the open questions.
Ha. Ha.
Yes. Okay. Very nice. So, sir, there is a one question. Obviously you have taught French students, European students, and Indian students as well. So whom do you like most? कौन सबसे ज़्यादा पसंद है?
It's a tough one.
That's why it's a fun question for me. Say me.
You, of course.
Okay,
You,
thank
of
you,
course.
thank you.
The batch you were in, of course.
Okay.
So far, so good for me. So, मुझे बारात बहुत पसंद है.
मुझे बहुत
वही.
आपको इंडियन पसंद है.
हाँ.
ओके, इंडियन स्टूडेंट सर को बहुत पसंद है. सो प्लीज सर को भी बहुत प्यार दें आप लोग. ओके. So sir, any anecdote, any incidents which you want to tell us, which you remember?
Which occur in a classroom. So I was talking about this hierarchy here in India between the teacher and the student. It is also a great thing. It's not just, it's not a negative thing always. I really love the relationship between the teacher here and the student.
Okay.
This is something now if I had to go back to Europe, I would miss it. I would miss it a lot because here there's this hierarchy, fine, and you can't ever like cross it or like. But once you start from there, it's normal to connect. It's normal to have fun together. It's normal to share a lot, and that is really great. So first year I was there. I remember this batch, and at the end of the last class, it was 20 students. End of last class, they brought like as they would a cake, some foods, whatever.
Okay.
And then, but one cake was like with this how you call it? It was a candle.
Okay.
Like a happy birthday candle. And I was
Happy
like, but
birthday.
this is not my birthday. They're like, no, fine.
It's the last day of the class.
Of
Yes.
the session. Yeah.
Okay.
They were like, pull it, sir. Okay. So then I pull the candle,
Candle.
and I
Okay.
see a little note hidden inside the cake.
Very nice.
So then I saw this note, and it's like, sir, thank you for the year, da da da. You've been a great teacher. So it was really
emotional.
touching, and I was like, oh, thank you so much, guys, da da da. And then they were like, no, pull it more, pull it more. So then I pull it,
More, huh?
and then it was actually it was a roll that was hidden inside the cake
Okay.
that would just, and then it was a whole
Oh,
paper like this
but
with
they have written a whole paper.
the 20 students, one note each.
Oh, very nice.
Ah,
Very creative.
20 different messages. Then there was like,
Oh my God.
that was
So
really,
emotional and so touchy.
yeah. That was really nice. That's
Okay.
one of.
Very impressive. Very nice.
Hmm.
So, sir, apa parler en français?
Mais oui, on
Oh,
peut. On peut,
personne
on
ne
peut.
comprend rien?
Mais si, le public parle français. Si, ça
Ok.
va. On peut parler
on
français.
peut le partager.
Mais oui,
Ok.
oui.
ऑडियंस आई नो सबको समझ नहीं आ रहा होगा कि मैं क्या बोल रही हूँ, हम लोग फ्रेंड्स में बोल रहे हैं, मैं ये बोल रही हूँ कि हम लोग फ्रेंड्स में बात करते हैं, तो सर बोल रहे बिल्कुल, और लोग भी फ्रेंड्स बोलते हैं, बट नहीं, हम लोग इंग्लिश में कंटिन्यू करेंगे, सो डोंट वरी अबाउट इट. सो सर, हाउ हैज टीचिंग इन डिफरेंट कंट्रीज इम्पैक्टेड इन योर लाइफ?
In a great way.
In a great way. Can you elaborate a little?
Sure. It's been a blessing, basically. Ever since I was a kid, I always knew I would travel. I wanted to travel. I wasn't sure about how and which profession, but I
Okay.
was sure I wanted to travel. So it was one of the reasons why I chose this career.
Okay.
And it's been wonderful. You meeting like different people from different places. You see many places in the world, and not only that, you discover different cultures, different languages, different habits, different, mentalities.
You collect a lot of information and knowledge as well. This
Yeah.
is, for example, the monk used to travel a lot. The
Yeah,
same thing, right?
exactly. And it's not only about, let's say, other cultures and different.
And the food?
The food is great, but it's
Do
like,
you like chole bhature?
I do. Yeah. बहुत अच्छा है.
बहुत अच्छा है.
हाँ.
Okay, I also like chole bhature. It's one of my favorite.
Hmm.
So Delhi आए और छोले भटूरे नहीं खाए.
Hmm.
It's kind of that. Okay. And sir, can you speak a little bit Hindi for us?
हाँ, थोड़ा.
थोड़ा अपने बारे में.
मेरा नाम बेन है.
Okay.
मैं टीचर हूँ.
Okay.
मैं दिल्ली में रहा हूँ.
Okay, दिल्ली में.
हाँ.
Very
7
nice.
साल से.
7 साल से. Very nice.
नहीं 7 नहीं, 5 साल से.
5 साल से.
5
Okay.
साल से. और so far so good.
Okay. Sir, I wanted to ask, do you miss your country?
Sometimes I do. I feel a bit homesick if it's a bad day or.
Okay. What do you miss?
What I would miss the most, more than food, what I would miss the most is the places dedicated to food in France. So let's say coffees, restaurants, and especially the terrace.
Okay, terrace. So it's a place, for example, this is a cafe, and there is a outside, there is a table and chair. You can sit at as much as you want. So which I know, and it's lovely. Yeah.
And you chilling there, and you out in the city. You can take a look. You can dream. You can take a look at people going by, and you can sit for a bit, for a long time. Coffee, glass of wine, whatever. And that I would miss the most because here in Delhi I haven't found.
Yeah, this kind of place a little bit difficult to find. Yes.
It's more
of a culture thing, I think.
Exactly, and especially Latin culture.
Yes.
So let's say Spain, Italy, France. Yeah.
As we are talking about Latin culture, do you know salsa?
I do.
You do?
I do. I love to dance salsa and
okay, because
bachata.
I learned salsa and bachata a little.
Very nice.
And people think it's very easy, but it is not. It is not. You have to be very quick. You have to listen every beat, and you have to move in every beat.
And so especially the leading, following.
Leading and following.
Technique.
You need to understand that. Yes.
It's tough to lead.
Yes.
And it's very tough to follow.
Yes.
To read information and Dances have actually a lot in common with languages. It is a language.
Yes.
Right? With its grammar, with its vocabulary, with this.
Yes.
So yeah.
Achha, dance is also it's like a language. Okay, now I get it. Okay. Yes, yes, you have to learn. Yeah, I have learned here.
Mhm.
So yes, it is.
Yeah.
And I think we have done once in a party.
We
We
did
did
one of the last day in the session in
in
this
the session.
institute.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So sir, okay. आज का एपिसोड फिर हम यहीं पे खत्म करते हैं. सो एवरीवन, ये था हमारा एक एपिसोड. तो आज के लिए इतना ही. और थैंक यू सर फॉर बीइंग हियर.
Thank you very much.
अगर आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आया है तो लाइक करें और हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें और बेल आइकन दबाएं ताकि हमारी चाय मिस ना हो जाए. सो एवरीवन, स्टे ट्यून फॉर आवर नेक्स्ट एपिसोड. अगर कोई हमसे जुड़ना चाहता है तो हमारे ईमेल पे हमें लिखे. और एवरीवन, au revoir, बाय,
Au
सी यू.
revoir. Like, carré. Aimez la vidéo.